You better get it out somewhere because let me know when I'm ready. Well, we obviously played a really good team tonight. In the University of Alabama, they're a very, very physical football team. Obviously, have a Heisman Trophy candidate at throwing the ball, and they did an outstanding job. Jameson Williams is a special player. But I was very proud of the way that we kept coming back, the physicality of our program. And we did not come here to lose by 7. We came here to win the game. And I think you could see that by the way that we played. We just ran into a team that was 7 points better than us tonight. And they had their team ready to play. And I'm congratulations to Alabama for, I believe they won the West tonight. With that, I'll take questions.
All right, let us know if you got questions. Tom, get us going.
Sam, I wonder if you could comment about maybe just your aggression tonight, like the attitude you took with the fake field goal and just the aggression on offense.
Well, you know, the fake field goal was directly off of last week's. So last week, Bauer ran up there and we ran it and Kern blocked. And then this week, Kern faked the block and then went it there. And they both made really good plays there. I'm sorry, I didn't get the rest of it, Tom.
Well, basically the attitude of the offense today, the aggression that you played.
Yeah. Well, you know, it was part of our third B, and we don't set goals that we don't think we can achieve. And, you know, we wanted to come in here and felt like we had a great chance to win the game. And obviously we did, but just didn't get enough or didn't get a stop or whatever it may be. We certainly didn't play a perfect game. You know, we snapped the ball. We thought we heard a clap, snapped it, and basically gave them 3 there. And, but for the most part, it'd be hard to look at the Arkansas Razorbacks and not be proud of the effort and the resiliency that we showed tonight and the physicality.
And then if you could comment on Traylin Burks, is just I know he hurt his shoulder, just kept playing, and what you thought of his game and how he's feeling right now.
Well, I think he's probably beat up, you know, but he just kept coming back, and he won a lot of one-on-one matchups tonight, and KJ got the ball to him. But he's a tough, great player and a better person. But I tell you what, he had a half a game tonight.
Trey Schapp.
Coach, what do you say to your team in the locker room after this one?
It's hard, you know. Because there's a fine line in there about being proud of, and then you lose. But I'm a guy that's proud of our football team, so that's what I told them. Be hard not to be. We stayed in the game, had a chance to win the ball game, and we matched, I felt like, the physicality of what Alabama's known for. And I just told them the days of, you know, getting kicked around, getting our teeth kicked in are over. And I think we proved that at least for a week, at least for this week.
Trey Biddy.
Yeah, Coach, KJ was 22 of 30, 326, 3 touchdowns. Really probably should have had 4 touchdowns. What did you think of his play today? And just showed a lot of resiliency throughout.
Well, I mean, first of all, I felt like the line protected pretty well for him. He obviously got away from some pressure. but I mean, man, and he just getting better every week. I mean, he's just, I mean, I wouldn't trade him. And as a character player, but I thought he was outstanding. You know, he had some good runs in there tonight. He's just a tough guy that, you know, I'm glad he's our quarterback, but I mean, to go out there and do what he did tonight, Trey, you wouldn't have mentioned it if it wasn't outstanding. And it certainly was. And I think he came out of it pretty, you know, I mean, he's probably sore, but I think he came out of it probably okay. You know, we got a short week, so I certainly hope he did, but I'm so proud of him. I mean, look at the first game and to now, I mean, and consecutive weeks of how he's played. I mean, I'm glad he's our quarterback.
It's a loss. It's kind of tricky, I guess, but I mean, you guys obviously showed a lot of fight and battled and did more than what the experts said you would do in this one. How do you make sure you manifest that for this short week? I guess you guys get right back to practice on Sunday and make sure that the momentum stays in the right way.
Yeah, we're going to come in early tomorrow as a staff. Our kids will be in the afternoon. We'll practice tomorrow night. But the bottom line, I think, and I don't know what happened with Missouri today or whatever, but I think the team that gets rid of this game learns from it, but gets rid of it as we lost that day and gets on. We already had our Monday practice, which is Sunday, ready because we did that in our off week. So we'll be prepared there. But, you know, I think the biggest thing, Trey, for us is just going to be how beat up we got tonight. You know, if we come out of that pretty good, then I have no doubt we'll take care of them during practice, but we'll be ready to play.
Thanks, Coach.
Bob.
Yeah. FYI, Mizzou and Florida tied at 16 going to overtime. Sam, I want to ask you another question about Burks. You know, LSU held him down last week. For him, did you get a sense he was going to bounce back with a game like this? And Alabama's obviously got such a good defense, and he just ran on that 66-yard. There were like 6 DBs chasing him or something. I just wonder what you thought about the way he bounced back and to do what he did against this team, you know?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with, you know, we had more time to get him the ball. You know, last week, ball was coming out awful fast, and we had more time to get him the ball. And anytime that happens, usually, you know, a lot of the times he'll come up with a catch. But you're right, you know, it wasn't only the catch tonight, but what he did after the catch. So I thought that him and KJ worked together really well tonight.
It just seems like those guys have got a great chemistry really all season. What would you say about that?
Well, I think they're very, very close friends, and I think both of them trust each other, and that's a good thing for the Hogs.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Nate.
Yeah, on the Alabama side, just what was your impression of Bryce Young and against some other quarterbacks you've seen?
I mean, says right here he passed for 559 yards. I'd say he's pretty darn good. You know, he made some really great plays, you know, when he broke the pocket and had a few nice throws to the side and angles, you know, looked like Mahomes a little bit sometimes out there, but they protected him well, and he made a lot of plays, and he's got really good wideouts to get open. And I thought he had a heck of a game. I mean, they scored 42 points and threw the ball a whole bunch of times. I think about 40. So he had a great game.
Thank you.
He should be in the Heisman Trophy talk. He's a really good player.
Clay.
Coach, just talk a little bit about maybe how y'all were trying to defend them and the struggles of picking your poison with what they can do offensively.
Well, we went from, I mean, we were in 3D coverage and the guys running by us, you know. We played a lot of man. We tried a lot of different things out there, and sometimes it worked. Most, you know, a lot of times it didn't. So it wasn't that we just sat there all night in the same thing. We tried several different things, and you'd think if you was in 3 deep, you wouldn't, have a guy run by you in the middle of the field, but he did, and so we talked about it at halftime, maybe to, keep changing it up and things of that nature. But for the most part, it wasn't as well all the time. It wasn't as successful as we certainly wanted it to be.
Thanks, Coach.
Let me know if you got more questions, Christina.
Yeah, Coach, now that you've seen both Alabama and Georgia, how would you kind of compare and contrast those two?
I think it's a really good question. I really don't want to answer it. I mean, they're both really good teams, both physical. Alabama throws the ball more than Georgia does. Georgia's, they got different people. Georgia believes in turn around and hammering you and play action off of it. And both really good football teams.
CJ.
Coach, can you talk about Monteric Brown? Huge game last game against LSU, get an interception late in that game, and this week it's a fumble here deep in the game. How big is he for your team this year?
Well, it's a big play for us, and he's a competitor and plays awful hard. It means a lot to him, and he's been big all year for us, and we're awful proud of him, and he's our guy that we believe in man coverage, and they have good players too, so we've got to continue to work on that and get better. Still have a lot of time left in this season, and we will, but been really proud of Mo.
Hutch.
Coach, it seemed like yards were hard to come by on the ground today. How would you assess your run game? And also, Traylin Smith looked like he had a few good runs tonight. What did you think of his performance?
Well, I mean, when you play Alabama, you're fortunate if you can take what they give you. I mean, in other words, it would be hard for me to sit here and say we had 470 or 68 yards offense and be disappointed in one side or the other. I don't believe that we ever said, hey, we can't run it. You know what I mean? I don't think we said, well, we can't run the ball. I don't think that ever had anything to do with it. I think we believed that, we were getting man-man coverage, and we felt like we could beat them on the outside. So, I'll be honest with you, I never felt like we couldn't run the ball tonight, even though statistics might say that, the average per carry wasn't very good. I felt like when we wanted to run it, that we could run it. And certainly we got some negative yardage plays, on some of those counters. One of them, we, tried to trick play and didn't catch the pitch from Burks, which is probably -10 or whatever that was. But I think, I'll be honest with you, I felt like our offensive line played a really good ball game today.
Last one, Bob.
Sam, what do you think, the way the Georgia game was over in a hurry, just not a good day at all. And then this one, you guys are in it to the very end. What do you think that says about how the team's progressed since that Georgia game?
Well, I mean, obviously it's two different teams, but we certainly have learned a lot. We learned from the Georgia game. And, we practiced what we learned from the Georgia game. And for the most part, we were much better tonight at those negatives that, we told our team about from Georgia. So, but they're two different teams and things of that nature. But I think it says a lot that we can go out on the road and play Alabama and make it a game. And that's what we did.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Thank
Coach.
you.
We'll get KJ and Grant.